Good morning everyone, it's Sherry here from shrs-memor-bears, and I got a request to do a video on how a memory bear is made. So today's video is going to show you from start to finish how I do it. So stay tuned. Okay everyone, I just wanted to show you, this is actually the shirt that I am going to be making the bear from. So what I do now is I just cut it. I'm going to cut the sleeves off first, and then I'm going to cut in different panels. And once I'm done cutting everything and laying it flat, I will show you what the next step is. Okay, so now I cut the shirt, well, I cut the sleeves off the shirt, and then I cut the front two pieces from the back big piece. And what I'll do after that is I will iron on this P44 fusible interfacing to the back of all of these pieces so that it stabilizes everything and makes it easier to sew and makes it a much cleaner look when you're done with the project. So as soon as I'm done with that, I'll come back and let you know what my next step is. While my iron heats up, what I normally do in between is I start to set up my embroidery machine, because this bear is going to have embroidery on the front. So what I do for that is, this is my embroidery hoop, which is, I apologize because it's all full of, what I have to do is I have to use this 3M adhesive spray, and I attach it, or I'm sorry, I spray it on the back of this twill fabric, and then I attach it to a piece of canvas. And let me show you. I put the canvas in the hoop, and then I throw my piece of twill and I spray it down with a little bit of the 3M spray, not a lot. And then after I hoop this, I can't hoop it with one hand, so I'm holding the camera with my other hand. So once I hoop it, then I put this piece of twill on top, and I'll show you what that looks like when I am finished. Alright, so this is what it looks like. The canvas is hooped in the embroidery hoop, and the piece of twill is glued to it. And then what I do is I take it over to my embroidery machine and I hook it up. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Apologize if you're not seeing all of this. Okay, so it's hooked up. So now I go over to my screen. I have to cancel what I was doing yesterday. Alright, so then I pull up my memory stick, and I'm looking for this is a shirt I used to wear file. Takes a little while because I have a lot of PDFs on this memory stick here. Alright. So I just scroll until I find, and I don't know if this is it or not, I'm going to have to look. Once I pick it, I push set. Yeah, this is the one I'm looking for. So I lower this, go to end and edit, hit embroidery, and then the green light turns on, and it will start stitching the saying for me. Okay, so the embroidery got to this point, and I had to change the thread so that it can sew in red for the heart. And as soon as the heart is completed, then I will change back to the blue, and I will add the person's name underneath the love. I believe that this one is going to say Joey. So I will show you how I do that as soon as this is finished. Okay, so the heart is done, and I have switched over to my blue thread and I'm going to have to go ahead and cancel the embroidery because I'm done with that that particular PDF now. And then I go to my alphabet and look for Joey, J, and then I just switch down to small, the small font, and find the small O, E, and then Y, and then set, end. And then what I do now is on my machine, I bring it down to where I want the embroidery to stitch out. Kind of try to center it, make sure it looks good. It'll show you where it's going to stitch out. And I think that's perfect. So then go ahead and hit OK, embroider. This light will turn green, and it'll go ahead and start stitching out Joey. Alright, so the embroidery is all done, and I've taken it out of the hoop, and I've trimmed it a little bit, not all the way yet. And what I do now is I add fray check to the outside border of the embroidery, so that when I go to trim it close, if I grab one of the stitches, it won't fray or unravel. So once I put that on, I set it aside, let it dry, and I'm going to go back to the pattern, or I'm sorry, to the shirt, and I'm going to lay the pattern pieces on the shirt. And that will be our next step. Okay, so the next step is sewing the patch onto the belly of the bear. And as you can see, I've pinned it in place, and then I will go around it with a straight stitch just to keep it tacked down, and then after that I will go around and do a satin stitch around the entire square of the patch, so you won't see any of those white threads anymore that are basically the remainder of the fabric that I used to sew the embroidery to. So as soon as that's done, I will show you what it looks like, and we will be attaching the legs. Okay, so after I put the interfacing on the shirt, I folded this one in half because this is the back shirt, so that there'd be a right side and a wrong side, so that you'd have two pieces of this, two pieces of this, two pieces of this, two pieces of this, and so on. And just from years of doing this, I know, you know, where to put these pattern pieces, but you can move them around and make sure that they fit, you know, wherever you can make them fit. I left this space open because it's got the pocket of the shirt on it, so you don't want to cut there. But this is how it looks now, and what I do now is I trace around the pattern pieces with a pen, and then I cut everything out. And after I do that, I'll come back and we'll start to sew. So everything is cut out now, and I put it in order of how I sew it together. So this right here is all of the head pieces. This is the front of the bear, and these are the legs and the soles of his feet. And then this is the back of the bear, and these are his arms. And that's the order in which they are sewn together, and that's how I lay them out. So the next step will be sewing them together, and of course we're going to be starting with the head. The first step is going to be sewing together the ears, and then after I get the ears sewn together, this is the side of the head, and it gets sewn from this point to this point. And then after that, this is the front of the face of the bear, and that will get sewn onto these two pieces. And then after that, this is the back of the head of the bear, and those two get sewn together. So once all of this is sewn together, I will show you what it looks like. All right, there he is. I got the head finished. So there's the two side pieces. This is the middle piece, the ears, and then the back piece. So the next step is to sew together the front of the body and the feet with the soles, and I will show you how that's going to be done. All right, so I have this a little bit out of order. There's the legs and the soles. So I sew this part together, and that will, when you flip it open, that'll be the belly right here. And then for the legs, let me get this out of the way. The legs will be sewn together like that. And then once these two sides are sewn together, then the sole will have to go down here around a circle. And that's how that's going to look. So once I finish sewing these two pieces together and I get to the feet, I'll do another video on how to add the sole to the bottom of the legs. Okay, so this is what the leg looks like. Sewed this part together, and then the back part is left open between the two notches like that, because that's a stuffing hole. And then the circle goes on the bottom, and I have to use a ton of pins so that I can make a perfect circle around the foot, so there's no puckering or pleats or anything like that when you sew. So this is what it looks like when the pins are all out. I did the other foot already, so I was able to make a perfect oval actually around the entire sole of the foot, and that's how it looks now. And then what I'll do is I'll turn these inside out, and after the next step is actually sewing the patch on the belly of the bear. I forgot to show you that. I sewed together the two pieces of the front of the bear, and that turned out to be the big tummy of the bear. And then once I get the patch trimmed, I'm going to be sewing it on the belly of the bear. So the next step is going to be trimming this, and I'll pin it to the front of the bear, and then I'm going to sew it on, and I'll let you know what that looks like when it's done. Okay, so the next step is sewing the patch onto the belly of the bear, and as you can see, I've pinned it in place, and then I will go around it with a straight stitch just to keep it tacked down, and then after that I will go around and do a satin stitch around the entire square of the patch, so you won't see any of those white threads anymore that are basically the remainder of the fabric that I used to sew the embroidery to. So as soon as that's done, I will show you what it looks like, and we will be attaching the legs. Okay, so here's the bear with the patch sewn on the front, and then the legs are put on the bottom of the belly, you know, like right underneath the belly. first I attach them with pins, and then I sew them like just very close to the seam here. And after I do that, it's kind of taking shape a little bit, but after I do that, I start working on the back of the bear and then the arms. And after I've sewn all of that together, I sew the back to the front and then insert the head and sew that, and the bear will be done. So I'll get back to you with the sewing of the back of the bear. Basically what it is, I might as well just show you, is, okay, these two pieces are the back of the bear, and these get sewn together and become a dart. And then once those are sewn together, you sew this side just into the knot to this point here, and then leave this part open for stuffing, and then sew again from this point all the way down. And then this part will become the back of the bear and be pinned and sewn to the front of the bear. And then after that, I will take these arm pieces and sew these together like this. And when they're sewn together, I will attach them to the bear with the front and the back already sewn together. And then once that's attached, then that's when you put the head on. The head is always last. So I will get back to you as soon as we are pinning the back to the front. This is how it looks when you pin the back to the front. It's just kind of a little sack. And then I just sewed around the whole thing and left the neck open. And now I'm going to take the pins out, and I'm going to turn it right side out and attach the two arms. It'll be like this, but it'll be on the inside. And the two arms will be sewn up by the neck, just really close to the edge. And when that's done, we'll turn it back. Wait, will we turn it back right side out again? No, we'll turn it back inside out again, and then we will put the head on. And how you do that is, once the arms are sewn on, you're going to stuff the head in right side, like it's like where you can see it, so it's called right side out, and this is going to be inside out. And we're just going to put the head inside the body like this, and then once I sew around the neck, I pull all of the pieces out through the back hole here, and then I will show you what it looks like at that point. Okay, so we just finished sewing the arms on to the body of the bear, and the next step is to turn this whole piece inside out and to insert the head right side out into that sack that I showed you earlier, and then we'll sew along the neckline, which will be this and this together. And then we'll turn the whole bear right side out, and that will be the next video. I'll show you how that looks. Okay, so the bear is all sewn together, and that's how it looks without any stuffing in it. And what I do next is I go in through the back here and I stuff the head first, then I stuff the body, the two holes for the legs, and the two holes for the arms. And once it's all stuffed, I will pin these shut and then take a needle and a thread, and I will hand sew the 5 stuffing holes up, and the bear will be complete. Okay, there he is. He's all finished. Well, not completely. I did stuff him and I did pin the backs, but I still have to hand sew the stuffing holes. And he will be all ready, and I can pack him up, and he will be on his way tomorrow. But there you have it. That is how I make a memory bear. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, you can hit subscribe and you'll get notifications every time I upload one. Thank you so much again for watching, and I hope you liked it. Okay, there he is. He's all finished. Well, not completely. I did stuff him and I did pin the backs, but I still have to hand sew the stuffing holes. And he will be all ready, and I can pack him up, and he will be on his way tomorrow. But there you have it. That is how I make a memory bear. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, you can hit subscribe and you'll get notifications every time I upload one. Thank you so much again for watching, and I hope you liked it.